Hey, Twisted people, it's your Twisted girl here, Chauncey K. Robinson, and we are doing Titans Season 3, season finale, episode 13. It's over, guys. It is done. We made it through. Hey, Josh, thanks for joining on the Titans stream. Always a pleasure. Thank you to all of you who are joining me on the live stream here, and those of you who are watching the replay. It's always a pleasure. I got Scarecrow on the side of me. The Scarecrow I like, because I don't know what this Scarecrow was for this one, but we got to talk about it. Hey, Jed, thanks for joining in the live chat. And so we're talking Titans season 3, and we got to talk about the future of Titans. We know it's getting a season 4. I want to talk to you all about what you want for season 4 of the Titans show. We need to talk about what actually happened with some of the characters. There were a lot of different things. Some stuff got tied up. Some stuff kind of got brushed over. So we got to talk about that as well. Hey, Deb, thanks for joining in the live chat. It's always a pleasure talking to all of you here. Yes, Solomon is saying a round of applause to all of us for making it through, because I mean, yes, there were things that we had to make it through, y'all. Okay, so let's dive into it. I want to know from y'all, if you had to give this season finale a grade, what would it be? And shortly why? And then compare that to, if you had to give this whole season a grade, what would it be and why? Although I can know why already. Teddy Bear, thanks for joining. Teddy Bear saying, hey y'all, oh Lord, where do we begin? LOL. Yeah, where do we begin when it comes to Titans? This has been a journey. I asked you all, give me a grade. Think about it. Give me a grade for this season finale, and then give me a grade for the whole season. For me, I'm going to give this season a C. I give this season a C. And, that's actually not too bad, because I gave season 2 darn near an F. I honestly gave season 2 almost an F. It was like a D plus, maybe. And I still contend that I think season 3 was better than season 2. I do not think season 3 was necessarily better than season 1. Season 1 versus season 3 were totally different animals, if we're being honest. I don't even know if I can compare season 1 to season 3, because they were very different animals, but I can compare 2 and 3 and say that 3 was better than 2. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. 3 was better than 2, but 2 wasn't better than 1. And I will say that much. I have it in my notes. I would give this season a B, though. I mean, not season. I would give this season finale a B. Only because when I was thinking of the season finale, I was thinking, how can they tie up whatever they've been doing this season? Now, comparatively speaking, this season was like a C to me. But in terms of what they were able to do in the season finale to what they were doing in the whole season, I can say that they tied up things nice enough. I felt some chills in certain moments, particularly when the Titans team were allowed to be the Titans team and do certain things and show their powers. I love that. And I think it actually showed us that the showrunners and the writers actually know how to write them as a team, funny enough. But for whatever reason, they only seem to, and they've been doing this since season 2, they only seem to only allow us to get that team stuff at the end of the season. Red Eyes, always the optimist, is saying, hey everyone, this season was an A- for me. Deb is saying B- for episode and C for season because of the whole crane crap, which lasted too long. Definitely. Let me see what some of you are saying. The new Malo, thanks, no, is saying, I pray that the 4th season keeps them all together all season. Can we get that, please? I agree with you. I just don't understand why we keep I mean, the comics didn't really do that much. Watching this show has made me return back to watching the new Teen Titans comics, going into the Titans comics. And it's like they did everything as a team. They went to pool parties together. Like, a lot of it was them doing group efforts. And then they'd splinter off occasionally, do things here and there. But it was very much, they stuck together. and I just really hope they lean into that in the fourth season. So I agree, Mello. Bandon is saying episode gets an B minus for being rushed plot points. The season as a whole gets a C. And I think that seems to be a little bit of the consensus, right? That everyone's kind of like, okay, overall, probably a C. Trent is saying, I bite the bullet and finish the season, and I was not happy. Overall, this season is an F for me. Even the Corey story for me fell short in the end. And we got to talk about that, right? We're going to talk about some of the things, some of the choices that were made and the emphasis on certain things, particularly to Corey, Dick, and all of them. So we're gonna dive into that, y'all. And I think that's something that we have to talk about. So yeah, I think we all seem to be in consensus except Red Eyes. That for me, this was I actually did not hate this season finale. I thought it was better than season 2 for sure. I just thought season 1 was overall a better season. It was a different animal of a season. Teddy Bear is saying B minus for me on there. Were still things that were left out or didn't make sense. It passed editing, such as them casting and filming Starfire's mother on the overrated threat level of Scarecrow. Yeah, exactly. There were a few things like there was, and we'll talk about that with Corey. There were pictures floating around of her mother, like in present day. The actress took photography stills and everything, and we didn't see her. Now, I don't know if that was cut because they went in a different direction or they just decided not to go the direction they went. So a lot of stuff got subverted. I don't know. Maybe we'll see that, somewhere in the future. And Red Eyes is actually saying, we got to talk about Bruce. Huge disappointment. Yeah. Y'all know I got feelings about that. Trent is saying, I will say the season finale had the most structured and cohesive of the past season. Exactly. And I think that's why I gave it a B. I was like, they tied up stuff that they talked about. It wasn't just kind of like, this is the main thing and we're going to forget the other stuff that happened. And, season 2 was a little like that. And so I can be at least happy in some regard that this one kind of did that a little bit. So I appreciated it. Okay, so let's talk about what actually happened, right? So let's get Crane out of the way, hence why I have him on here, because I just want to get him out of the way. So we can just move on from Crane and talk about like the individual characters and some of the stuff that we saw going on. Okay, so with Crane, what we got was a semi-lackluster end. I feel like some of the things they ended up doing were all the things they could have done earlier on. I think my honest opinion is that they prolonged him being the villain way longer. Had he looked like this most of the time, I probably would have agreed a bit, but using his fear gas from the very beginning, I probably would have thought they could have done a whole 13 episodes, but that's not this wasn't the Scarecrow we got. This wasn't him, right? What we got was a man with mommy issues who honestly had no powers. And once they hacked into the thing, they overtook Wayne Manor, which was something where I was like, why didn't they do that before? Because before, Dick had told Connor, well, we can't go to Wayne Manor. It's swarming with cops, and that's, not going to be good. But this time he was totally okay with them going to Wayne Manor. All right. Okay. So... And I did appreciate that Grayson made the decision and he said, we can't do what Bruce would have done because that's what Scarecrow is expecting and we need to be different. And there's symbolism. There was a lot of symbolism in Grayson, particularly doing things different, breaking the cycle. There was a lot of breaking of the cycle going on here. And I want to talk about that a little bit, which I didn't mind. But in terms of Crane, it was lackluster. He eventually didn't even want to put fear gas everywhere. He just wanted to kill everybody. He was just going to do a mass genocide of Gotham City, which, I mean, talk about being so anticlimactic. I would have preferred him doing the fear gas and everyone just going insane and ripping themselves apart. To me, that would have been a little bit more poetic. But he basically just decided he wanted to kill everyone. And I'm like, okay, ho-hum, whatever. I love the idea that they came up with, particularly Starfire, which was, because Starfire did come up with that, of bringing the Lazarus pit to everybody and kind of being like, let's figure out a way to bring everyone back to life. And her powers showed through, and I appreciated that. I liked, the team all coming together. Connor kind of making it ice and making it cold enough, Donna doing the lightning thing, which, I mean, I guess they want to really drive home that we will not have to worry about her getting electrocuted again, because how stupid was that in season 2? So I didn't mind that, but it was a lackluster. And I mean, Tim got to punch him out, which I didn't mind. I liked it because it was kind of like Tim represented for Crane kind of the people he was, the people he wasn't thinking about, the everyday people he was terrorizing. So for Tim to say, hey, it was my family you tried to kill, and here we are. I mean, Crane also shot him, right? From my understanding, I think I remember. So it made sense. He kind of got the last punch, but it was also a little contrived, but I didn't mind it. I was like, okay, it makes sense. He's been terrorizing the people of Gotham, and this is Tim's city. Now, mind you, Tim didn't get to stay in his city at the end, but it made sense that he got the kind of the last final blow. And then what we had was Raven instilling fear, all fears and stuff into Crane, kind of driving him insane. I thought that was pretty dark, and I dug it. I was like, I get it. In a way, it was kind of like, damn, is that not overkill? But I also understood where Dick and them were coming from, where it was kind of like, yeah, Crane could get out again, and we could have this whole situation on our hands again. So let's make it so he can't, They pretty much condemned him to real insanity this time. I mean, he had gone insane already, but they really condemned him to the insanity. So I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. I just also was kind of like, okay, that's where we're going. So, that was the end of Crane. He sung Scarecrow from Oz. I guess they thought they were being witty with that. But it was kind of anticlimactic a bit, because honestly, once they started just basically thinking like a team and infiltrating Wayne Manor, he was done within one episode, which also just made it glaringly obvious they could have done that a couple of episodes earlier. Honestly, dude doesn't have any superpowers. Titans could have handled this real quickly before people started dying in the street. Bannon is saying, I loved Raven putting all the fear in Crane. I loved it. I thought it was dark, and I was like, okay, this is edgy, because, usually it's a whole thing of like, we have to be better than that. We're superheroes. But it kind of made sense because of the danger he posed. Solomon saying Crane should have been an original villain, since he was just an odd mashup of many different Gotham villains. That's exactly what he was. We got a few in the midst of them taking out Crane. We got a few Batman throwbacks. Selena Kyle, the one who got away. Okay. So I guess that's them letting us know Selena and Batman didn't end up together thus far, or she's not around, which another strike at you guys, Titans, for how you're handling Batman, especially as a Bat-Cat shipper. I'm a Batman Selena Kyle shipper, and you're just messing it up for me. And you've been doing that since you've been messing with this character, and I just hope y'all just leave him alone at this point. Just leave Bruce alone. Leave Batman be. Stop. Okay, just leave it be. And there were a few other Batman throwbacks and stuff like that. And it's very much a show which plays on, it's not even just a show that plays on the DC angle, if not so much the Batman lore, right? We might get Oracle back eventually. We also got Argus. A lot of Argus name dropping when it came to Roy Harper, which means we probably will get Roy Harper. For those who need to know, I want to look it up so I get the exact definition. I mean, I don't really know much about Argus, I'll be honest with y'all. It wasn't something that I really paid attention to, but I'll draw it up for y'all because they kept name dropping it like a mug. I actually really appreciated that V ended up being who she was. I thought that was really cool, that she took out the people and the thing. Argus, ARGUS, is a U.S. government agency currently led by Sasha Bordeaux. They act as support for the United States, superhuman individuals, including the Justice League, undertake government research, oversee U.S. responsibilities involving superhumans, and response to small-scale meta-human threats. All right, sure. And Roy Harper is currently in this universe. Roy Harper is the leader of that. So, okay. And there was a lot of dropping of names with that. And I don't know. He's this, Roy Harper is the teen sidekick of superhero Green Arrow. Cool. So we're probably going to get Roy Harper sometime in the future. When I saw a lot of that, I kind of thought the same thing, simply of, I am so tired of Titans serving as a backdoor plot to every other show they want to try to throw at us. Like, you haven't even showed us a straight up Titan show, and y'all stay throwing everybody else up in there, to kind of, I don't know, fill out whether or not we'd be open to a show about them. And it's like, stop doing that and just do a Titan show first. I don't want you to do any other show until you get this right. Deb is saying, I'm so glad they left Gotham. Now we can get some Starfire and Dick scenes next season. I also too hope for that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, we got Argus. Trent is saying, no Roy Harper, no Argus. They need to focus on the main four. Yeah, although the way they were talking about Argus, and let me know, y'all, what y'all think about it. The way they were talking about Argus, I kind of felt like they were kind of playing with the idea of a spinoff. I mean, did y'all get that vibe? Because I kind of got that vibe that they were playing with the idea of a potential spinoff, especially since, and I guess we'll segue into this, Donna was back, but Donna's not going to San Francisco with them, which kind of didn't make any sense to me, because of all the people who could be going with them, plus the main four, I'd be okay with Donna because she is part of the new Teen Titans kind of comic run. And so it's a little weird that they seem to be trying to shuffle her off with Argus and Barbara. They seem to be playing this kind of game. I mean, I don't know. Do y'all think there's a little bit of a potential sideline plot they're trying to do? I don't know if we're going to get a whole new show of it. And I'm going to be annoyed if she stays there and she works with Argus and Roy comes in and then Barbara's still there and they have a whole like mini side plot within the Titan show. I'm going to be annoyed because we don't need that. But I fear, or I worry, I don't really fear, this is fictional. I worry a little bit that they may be playing that by playing up so hard of Donna working with Argus, that may be something that plays into Titans next year. And we don't need any more subplots. We need Titans to just be working on a Titans plot. But let me know if y'all are concerned with that at all, because I'm a little concerned with it. I'm a little worried that may be what what they may be trying to do. Bannon is saying, I would have loved to see V take out those cops. Yeah, that would have been cool to see. I was glad that she kind of turned into the badass. I kind of had a hint that that's what she was going to be, just because she was giving Dick and all of them lip in the beginning. I'm like, okay, she's someone important, probably, or she's not going to turn on Barbara at least. And so when it turned out, when she was like, I'm not who I say I am with Argus, I love that. I did. But I also was concerned. I was like, is this going to play into Titans, or is this some other show? If it's another show, fine, do it. I don't mind. Do it if that's what you want to do. Just don't do a whole thing and then this becomes a Titans plot next season and we have to deal with another thing. Do spinoffs. I'm even fine with the Red Hood spinoff. Do them. Go ahead. Have fun. Just stop making it so you do shows within the show of Titans, because that's what it keeps feeling like. That's what it felt like this season. It felt like a show within Titans. It felt like a Nightwing Bat Family show within the Titans show. Season 2 felt like that as well to a certain degree. I don't want another season where somebody else who's not a whole Titans thing comes in and they become kind of the central focus, and the Titans are just kind of working in the periphery of them. And the only time we hear about Titans doing Titans things is off screen or before the season starts, right? Like this season, we got them fighting in the very beginning, as though to tell us they've been fighting crime for this whole year, but we never got to see it. And I would love if season 4 is them being Titans as opposed to, okay, we were Titans up until season 4 started. Now some other thing comes on and everything's derailed for the whole season and we're not a team anymore, you know? And they keep doing that. Solomon is saying, I wouldn't mind Titans spinoff, but these backdoor pilots take up screen time for the current series. Agreed. They really do. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Where I just don't want that. Icky, thanks for joining us in the chat, Icky. Icky saying, I keep having hope for Titans, but it keeps failing me. Yeah, they definitely have to do better. Let's see, Jay was talking about something. Let's see. Jay, thanks for joining the chat, Jay. Jay is saying, if they were going to do an Argus show, wouldn't it be announced at Fandom? Maybe, but you know what else they didn't announce at Fandom? Jay, they didn't announce the Red Hood spinoff. And that has been going in the grapevine for a minute, that we're supposed to be getting a Red Hood spinoff. And they didn't announce it then. So the question is, are they kind of waiting for stuff? Maybe they were waiting because the thing is, there was no mention of Argus that heavy at Fandom, probably because the episode hadn't aired. So now that the episode has aired and they really put it out there, maybe now they can actually announce it. Although they did wait to announce, you know, they waited to announce the other one. So I think we're still getting a Red Hood. Let me know, y'all. Do y'all think we're still getting a Red Hood one? Because I think we are, hopefully. Because I don't want another Red Hood subplot in Titans, but let me know. Oh, Red Eyes with the super chat. Everyone give it up for Red Eyes. Thank you so much, Red Eyes. It's always, I know I get on you a lot. I do, because it's fun. But it's always a pleasure talking these stories with you. But let's say with the $10, everyone give it up. Give some claps in the chat to Red Eyes. Red Eyes is saying, I hated that Rachel and Gar got a welcome back moment with Donna and not Corey. Corey and Donna were actually friends. She came back to life and her and Corey are just together like she never died. Speaking truth. Definitely speaking truth, Red Eyes. I had to pause because I got feelings about that. A lot of stuff gets brushed over on this show. I mean, for one thing, Dick died too. And I'm sure there was maybe a moment where someone was like, oh my gosh, I'm glad you're alive. We didn't even get that between him and Corey. I don't even know if Corey knows that Dick died at one point. Corey was the one that brought up in the beginning of this season, Donna being brought back to life because she had heard that Jason got brought back. And yet all we got was a kind of mumbled hug between them. All we got was a mumbled hug between them. And that was it. And now she's not coming back. She's going to go visit Dawn, which I understood. Her and Dawn were friends too. And so she also, I actually liked that Donna said she was going to go visit Dove to tell her about what Hank said. And I mean, wouldn't it be lovely for those of us, if we lose loved ones, that someone who saw them can say, hey, I saw them, they're okay. I mean, oh my gosh, if all of us could get that. But I agree. I just feel like a lot of things. I would have loved to get a little bit more of a reunion between Corey and Rachel. I mean, Corey is pretty much the default mom, or the chosen mom, I should say, of the bunch. And her daughter was away for a bit, and we never really got that kind of reunion between them. Although I loved when Corey was checking in with Rachel and being like, are you okay with this? Corey was concerned. And that showed their bond, but I would have loved that. And this is what I'm saying, what I want more in season 4, more of those moments, those interpersonal moments between the Titans, not just with who's dating who at that moment, and not just the plot of the season, but just all of them kind of hanging out with each other. I mean, that, like I said, when I was rereading the comics recently, they were just hanging out at a pool party. That was one of the scenes before stuff went AWOL. And it's like, yes. Like, let's have more moments of them just hanging out. That's why I love the RV scene. I really enjoyed that because I wish that would have been the middle of the season so we could have got some scenes of them hanging out in the RV together. We don't just show this stuff off screen. Show it to us on screen so we can see that bonding, So I definitely agree with you, and thank you so much for the super chat. It's always appreciated. You are appreciated. Let's see what some of y'all are saying. Source C, thanks for joining us in the live chat. Source C, Source is saying, yeah, totally agree. Titans has a knack for having the scenes we actually want and need to see happen off screen. Definitely, they do, and they need to stop that. I mean, you know what I mean? Will, CP, thanks for joining us in the chat, CP. And as always, CP, who I usually do show business with, we're doing that one, saying just wanted to poke in and say hi, and I miss chatting with you. Hope all is well. Thanks, CP. And Red Eye says Corey wasn't around anything. LOL. She never even said who's this Tim kid, right? You know, that's what I thought was funny when Artie came in, the scientist Artie guy came in, and I love that Donna was like, "Who is this? Who is this guy?" I love that because it's like, yes, acknowledge the fact that we didn't see any of you get introductions to anybody off screen. You know, like let's not act like that's not a thing. You know. It's definitely a thing. So but yeah, Crane is done with, and I'm happy for that. So let's so I guess segueing into what we see is Donna is not going to San Francisco with them, which makes sense. She got a new, lease on life. She's probably going to try to see where she fits in this new world. And I do think she's probably going to work with Argus. The question is, are they making this its own series? Or are we going to have to deal with this being a plot that sucks up air in the new Titan season 4 when the time comes, right? Because I feel like Connor Leslie, who plays Donna, she's so lovely. I got to interview her when she first arrived on Titans about over 2 years ago now. She's still considered a main cast member. So if she's still a main cast member, how does that work, right? Unless they're going to bring that over into it. But we don't want Argus on Titans. We just want Titans. So I don't think she needed to kind of link up with Argus. I think she could have just stayed like, yeah, I'm back and I want to be part of Titans. They could have totally done that. They did it in the comics. Silly. So we got that. And so who else? Okay, so then we have this guy, Red Hood. Let me know, y'all. Did you think I kind of like the scene with him and Bruce only because we needed to have the scene to move on. And I don't know if they're going to address this on the show. Red Eye's saying, so is anyone going to address Corey's new power? I don't know if anyone's going to address it on the show, but we're going to address it here. We definitely got to address it here. But yeah, so with with Red Hood, I did that last time too. With Red Hood, what we got here is it seems like Jason's going to go on a redemption arc. We didn't get an announcement that we were going to get a Red Hood spinoff at Fandom, but who knows, that may be coming. Maybe they wanted to see people's reaction, but I really do think we're probably going to get a spinoff of some sort. And in a way, I hope we get a spinoff, right? Because if we don't, that means Red Hood has to come back to Titans, right? They're going to have to bring him back. And I think he sucked up enough air. Now, I think it's totally fine for Red Hood to be part of Titans if he doesn't suck up air, if he just becomes a member. But I think it's so far gone and where they pushed him this season, killing Hank, all of that, that I just don't think that's going to be something they can just easily forgive. Mind you, this is a show where people forgive things for a lot of things, such as Connor easily forgiving Dick, but mainly only because Connor pulled what he did and Con forgave him. I don't think I love that Corey got on Connor. We'll talk about that. But I think they got to give him his own show. And I think he could. I don't know if I'd watch it, but I think he could carry it. I think there's a lot of people who like Red Hood. But I don't see it. I don't see him having a place there. Solomon is saying, I'm annoyed that none of the Bat Sons knew about or addressed Bruce attempted suicide. Exactly. That too. But then that would have taken up so much more time. I'm just annoyed they had him try to do it, to be honest. I think he's been through enough that was kind of silly that they had him do that. But Jay is saying, I want the Black Lightning Painkiller spinoff more than a Red Hood one. Painkiller was more interesting. Yeah, I think they stalled that Painkiller one. There was supposed to be because they canceled Black Lightning after only 4 seasons, and they were supposed to do the Painkiller spinoff, and I think that got stalled. I don't know what happened with that, which kind of sucks because it means they kind of canceled Black Lightning for no reason, which is because they kind of gave the reasoning that the reason why they were canceling Black Lightning is because they wanted to move on with Painkiller. I don't know why they couldn't do both. I mean, we all know why they couldn't do both. There seems to be a quota of how many Black people get shows. But, there's that. Jed is saying, do you think Donna will become Troya in season 4? I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see where they take her. The question is she going to be doing it within Titans, or is it going to be a thing of, I don't mind anybody having progression and stuff like that. It just has to fit nicely within a Titans plot line, because if it becomes its own thing, then once again, we have a whole other thing sucking up air on a Titans show. And they've been doing that far too much. But yeah, Red Hood, I think we're going to get a spinoff. I think there's no other choice but to give him a spinoff, unless they do kind of like what they did with Rachel and Donna this season, where he's away for most of the season. Then he comes back halfway through and we see what he's been up to. And maybe he's changed or gotten better or something. But I think that would be kind of cheap with as much air they let him suck up. So I kind of want him to get his spinoff. I don't know if I'll watch it, but I think that's the best thing they can do. But let me know, y'all. Do y'all think he should get his spinoff, or do you think they should kind of let that be? Bannon is saying, in terms of Donna, I got the sense she wasn't going to be part of Titans anymore. It seemed to be a goodbye to her. Yeah, but they were playing the Argus thing. And I mean, I don't know, maybe Connor Leslie, the actress who plays, Donna, got another role and she wants to do something else. But it seems a little silly they went through all of that to bring this character back. That was another thing. They went through all of this to bring Donna back, just to not have her go back to Titans with them. So I feel like this has got to be some kind of plot where they want this character to come back because they want to do other things with this character, even if it's not Titans, right? Kind of seems like what they should do, but I don't know. Red Eyes is saying, I don't think we get a spinoff. I think he just pops up on Titans from time to time. I'd be fine with that too. I just think they spent so much time on him. I'd be surprised if they didn't give him a spinoff at this point. So I don't know. It just seems like something they should do after. I mean, I wouldn't care for it, but at least do it. You done did it so much. Okay, so then we have this guy, Grayson. I feel like there was a lot of letting go in this episode, in particular with him. I can only hope that this is going to be true progression. I really do hope this is true progression. And that I love that he said, I got an idea. Let's get the hell out of Gotham. I love that. And maybe we won't have to visit again next season. Go somewhere else. Go to Metropolis. I mean, Connor's got his issues. I hope that is what I hope this is really growth for him and that he's able to move on from that. I will rant on Grayson, but I actually have nice words to say about him this time, Red Eyes. Don't worry. Icky is also asking everyone the question, what would make you guys quit Titans? And let us know. That's a very good question, Icky. I'm going to leave that up for people to kind of marinate on. But I think Dick had a lot of growth this episode, and showed that he really came to grips with things. Now, mind you, I thought that happened in season 1 and season 2, but I guess they really had to drive it home for season 3. And I hope we don't have to do it again in season 4. But I liked how he acted this episode. I mean, he kind of was like, we can't do what Bruce did. He told Batman, if you ever leave again, if you ever leave again, don't do that. I love that. I really was like, okay, yes, good. Donna said, hey, when you die, it gives you priorities. I hope, Dick took that to heart. And so, I just, I saw growth. And I love that he smiled a lot more. Like, he smiled at the camera with Crane. He let Tim take him. He's like, give me something good. And then the thing, and they're all laughing. I'm like, yes, hopefully this is the vibe we go into season 4 with. This is the vibe we need. A little bit of more levity, a little bit more fun, a little bit more of the adventure as opposed to the bleakness. And so I'm hoping we get that. And so, yeah, maybe we will, maybe, I just think at this point, I'll be a little annoyed if we have to revisit this again. I don't want to. I think this is it for him with that. And he has other plot lines they can totally lean on. For me, in terms of the question that Icky was asking, I see some of y'all answering questions. It's saying I only watch it for Corey. So I guess if Corey was gone. Source C, in terms of Dick, is saying third time's the charm, I guess, right? Man. For me, like I said, if Corey leaves, I probably stop watching because I do root for Starfire. And I don't know. Honestly, short of that, I'm probably willing to stick around. Even if I rant about it, I'm willing to stick around. Because I do think there's potential. And there are moments, like I said, even in season 3, there were moments I actually really enjoyed. When all the Titans came together for this season finale, I really enjoyed all of the things they were doing. Corey's powers, all of that was awesome to me. And I'm like, this show has moments where it shows you what it's capable of, and I want more of that, Josh is in agreement. Yes, I love Starfire. Starfire is awesome, and I think when the show leans in on that a bit more, it's better. And for whatever reason, we've just got a really Nightwing heavy show. But I think it's because maybe the showrunner or whoever doesn't really believe that people are there for the other characters. And that's just not true. People are here for a lot of the other characters. So Deb is saying, I'm watching it for Dick and Corey, that connection they had in season 1. I do enjoy when they are all working together. Definitely. Solomon is saying, I don't see myself dropping the show, kind of like American Horror Story. Yes, it's frustrating, but I don't hate watch. Exactly. I don't hate watch Titans. I know it seems like I might sometimes, but y'all know I find good stuff here and there. And anytime Corey's around, I'm all about it. So, that was the thing with Dick Grayson. We also got Gar. Gar got some highlights. I'm glad that he, they kind of addressed his whole thing with, he needs to find someone to train him. It can't be Dick at this point, right? He needs to find someone that can help him change into the Changeling, right? That was the name they were trying to give him in New Titans. He didn't want to go by Beast Boy anymore. He wanted to go by the Changeling. I don't know. I don't think it stuck. But in the comic books. But he needs to train from someone who knows how to help him focus in on that, because we're seeing the potential of Gar and how important he is and the things he is capable of doing. And I love that they started playing into that a little bit more. It took a bit, but I did see that in the last couple of episodes that they started playing up Gar a bit more. And I hope we continue with that because he's a fun character and I think he deserves more shine. And Red Eyes is saying, Chauncey, you shade watch? Yes, I don't hate watch. I shade watch. I throw a lot of shade, but I don't hate. So I'm all about it with them. And speaking of our girl Corey, I actually liked her look in season 1 too. I know she got a lot of hate for that for whatever reason, because people for whatever reason like to put Black women in boxes of the way we're supposed to look, but whatever. Our girl Corey, because we got to talk about her powers, and we got to talk about, like was mentioned, no one's talking about her powers and the fact that it all changed and no one seems to have noticed and said, hey, that looks different. Weird. Okay, so Tom left. It seems like Artie, who I kind of hope we see more of. I kind of want Artie to end up near San Francisco so that the sciences guy, so he's like Titan's go-to person for gadgets and stuff, although they don't really need it, but it'd be kind of fun, like if he, they could find out stuff for him and stuff. But I think when it came to Connor and Com and Corey's situation, I didn't mind Com and Connor. I thought they were okay. They really did play up that love story, and it was okay. I guess that'll be his one that got away, that maybe she'll come back around. It'd be nice if Com comes back around, because I feel like this can't be the end of Corey's plot line, right? I feel like, and I don't think it is. I actually have hope that they'll play more on the whole thing with the Citadel and stuff, which was the outside group that tried to take over Tamaran. And I hope that that maybe plays into it. We saw some remnants of a possibility of that, I think. And maybe it's not Calm that ends up being the evil person. Maybe it's their brother. They do have a brother. And if they play on that, you know, maybe the brother's the one that ends up kind of being the evil one. I would totally be okay with that. I think there's potential. They've been remixing it, but I still think there's potential, and I hope it's not just completely dropped. We were promised a Corey focused season. We did not get that this season. That is not what happened. Just because you gave her a few highlights more than season 2, that is not the same thing, okay? So they owe us a Corey focused season. So if the Citadel ain't coming down, or at least, you know, whoever the next villain is ain't really trying to, you know, go after Corey in particular, then they're misstepping, and they need to do something about that. Yeah, it's just, you know, they need to do better. Icky is saying they failed my girl this season, and it was meant to be her season. It really was. And they got to do better. They definitely got to do better with that. Clarence, thanks for joining us in the chat. Clarence is saying, I was so disappointed by this season. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of things this season that didn't add up. There were some things I was okay with. I know it's kind of controversial, Corey's powers. It was mentioned earlier. I don't hate the blue color. I kind of know why they didn't do green, because it can be very hard to have green on the screen all the time, because green screen is weird. And you already have Gar, who's green. So maybe they didn't want to do that, although they changed her color to blue, which is kind of similar to Nightwing's kind of shade and brand. Okay. I don't know why they didn't at least go with orange or something, but we'll see. You know, I think we also need to see where they're going with her powers. I mean, she was the one that was able to hold the Lazarus pit in a globe. Calm wasn't able to do that with her powers. And I think it's interesting because it's clear that Corey's powers aren't just fire and hotness, they're energy. And I think it'll be interesting to see what they choose to go with that. And what that means. You know, why were Corey's powers, you know, low key for most of her life? What was that about? Is there something with her origin that maybe we find out about later? Because like I said, we are still due a Corey's focused plot line, not side plot while Nightwing's taking up all the air, but a Corey focused plot line. We did not get that. And we do need to go to Tamaran eventually. If Calm is going back, she's creating a suit that Connor can go to. They can go to friggin' Tamaran, okay? They need to go to Tamaran. I'm here for that. And so with Calm's story, I didn't mind it. I know a lot of people were disappointed that she didn't end up being the main villain, but I think I actually like her, you know? I just think maybe they'll make it so the brother's the villain. Maybe that's the way they'll remix this, perhaps. Because in the other one, he wasn't the villain, right? So in this way, they can make it so he's the villain this time. Maybe that's what happens, and she needs their help with the Citadel and stuff like that, because she has to go back. And Corey did tell her multiple times, you know, they're not very forgiving. It can be hard there, and I'm here to help. So we may see a return to Calm needing their help, right? And that's a perfect way to make it so it's not a Nightwing Batman centered plot line, right? You make it so that they need to help Calm, then Corey's at the center of it because it's her sister. Connor is at the center of it because that's his, you know, girlfriend or ex or whatever. And so you get a chance to kind of make it a little bit more, you know. And Deb is pointing out, I guess the bombshell between Dick and Corey was the future daughter. It was. That's what pretty much it was. And I don't know if it's funny because I don't know if Grayson is even going to mention to Corey, hey, I think I saw our future kid when I was in the Lazarus pit. Are they even going to have this conversation? Is he even going to acknowledge it, right? Because now I know people might say that he asked Barbara to come to San Francisco with him, but let's be real. I think they both knew neither of them were going to do either of the things they asked. And to me, it was just kind of like they were going through the motions because neither of them wanted to look like a jerk. Or more so, Dick was going through the motions because he didn't want to look like a jerk because he had his intention. He's like, I'm leaving. And he could say, you could come, but he knew she wasn't going to come with him. You know, it's like when you offer someone a slice of pie and you really don't want to give it to them and you just hope they're polite and say no. You know, like, I mean, and I felt like that was the case. I don't think there's any love lost between them. And I think he really has moved on even before it started. So I hope we get more with Corey, but who's to say? But that would be a real disservice if we don't. Maybe we'll get the, the 5 and the villains and stuff, because we need that. We need villains in this show that are able to go against all the Titans. It cannot be another contrived thing where Crane is kept away from everybody because of contrived plot points, and we only get to see it at the end, right? But I loved Corey's vulnerability this episode too. She was telling people, you're not scared. She's like, I'm scared. And I don't think that was a sign of weakness, because I know some people are like, Corey's been, being pushed around. But I felt like, like in the comics, Corey has always kind of showed her vulnerability, even in the sense of her strength. She's always been kind of open about her emotions, even if they're not, I'm total badass. Sometimes like, no, I'm scared, or no, I don't want to lose this person or something. She's always kind of been more about that. So I don't think it's out of the ordinary. I love that she got on Connor. I love that she said, you know what cowards hide behind? Intentions. And that was wonderful to me. And Connor acting like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm like, Connor, you went total Lex Luthor. Like, why are you what? And I love that Corey got him. And I also love that Corey, when Com stepped in and was like, I would have done the same thing. I'm glad Corey was like, you know what? I'm done with y'all. Because that was her plot line. Her plot line was with Connor and Com this season. And I'm glad she was just like, you know what? We're done. I'm tired of this. Now, I do feel like in some way, by inserting Connor into the situation and his romance with Com, I do feel like it kind of decentered Com and Corey's dynamic. But that's just, that's just how they do stuff. You can't, it's the same reason why we got Barbara and Dick together, because if someone's there, you got to insert the guy. You can't just have the two sisters having their issues. There's got to be a guy in there somewhere. And that's what they did with this. And at least we got it, but I would have been okay if we didn't have it. But they were the highlight romance of the season, because it sure as heck wasn't Barbara and Dick, because they hardly were romantic towards each other. And I think that was purposeful. But I really do hope we get something more with Corey in the future. Trent is saying, I did like when she said she was scared. Corey has always been a complex and emotional character. The last couple of episodes, Corey really felt like season 1 Corey, and I like that. Exactly. For sure. Yes, there is Barbara shade. Although I liked Barbara's role. Barbara got to be commissioner. She got to be something this episode besides just the other person that Dick talks to because he doesn't want to talk to his team, which is what she was mostly this season. Yeah, so I'm up. I'm here for it. And I think we'll probably see Savannah, who plays Barbara, in the future. I'm sure if we get a Red Hood as a plot line, if we get an Argus thing, clearly she's working with Argus. That's the way to keep her around. So we're going to have Barbara around, and then Oracle will be back online. So I guess we'll see where that goes. Hopefully not on Titans season 4, because we don't need any of those plot lines. We got enough of them. Lady Vic disappeared into the ether. Who knows where Lady Vic went? I don't know why she wasn't in the manor to fight Dick and them. For some reason, she came and she left. Really silly, because a whole episode was named Lady Vic. But I guess that was just for Barbara's plot. I don't know. Overall, y'all, I didn't hate this season. What I would like to see for next season is a few things. I'd like to have more emphasis on the other characters. I don't think that means that Dick can't be around. Dick can be the leader. He can be the one. He can even have his own plot. It just can't suck up as much air as this one did. And I want higher level villains. There are higher level villains for the Titans. There's the Citadel. There's I think Fearsome 5 is in it. There's villains for them. And so I hope we see them. I know V mentioned Shimmer. She's part of that. And I hope they don't hand that over to Argus. Because I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Why is V talking about one of the Titans villains? That's supposed to be Titans. Like, what's going on? And I just hope that I kind of like that they kind of shortened the cast a little bit. And as much as I would have preferred for Donna to go with them to San Francisco, I'm kind of glad she didn't, because maybe this will make it so they have to focus on the main people, you know? I think that'll be good. And yes, I agree. Her vulnerability is her best feature. And then she kicks butt. And why not? Why not be a complex creature like that, you know? And, you know, just to get a little deeper with it, a lot of time Black women in shows aren't allowed to have those complexities. You know, they're not allowed to be badass and vulnerable and have a romance. You know, a lot of the time what you get is either she's so badass and she has no personal life, or she's just there occasionally for an off-screen thing. And so with Corey, with Starfire, you have a little bit more of that, and I'm glad to see that kind of representation, especially as a Black girl who watches these kind of shows. You know, even with Calm, she got to be a badass, but she fell in love. I mean, we got two of that, you know, and that's rare on these mainstream shows, y'all. If you know the struggle, you know the struggle. And so I'm happy for that, and maybe we'll get more of that. We also don't know what happened to the therapist guy. I don't know what was the point of having her talk to him in the beginning, because she cut it off and she never talked to him again. What was the point of Justin? I don't know. I thought he was going to play a bigger role and he just didn't. I think what happened is they had that actor on for some type of when they were going a different direction. He probably was on contract for something, and then when they switched it all, they needed to have him appear, and so they just played it down. You know, I don't know. And Red Eye saying, did anyone ask Tim's parents if he could go to San Francisco? No, but they did tell him that he needed to be with the superhero. So I guess that gives the free reign, right? And Trent is saying, I really didn't like that Tim went with the Titans. So Dick is going to train a Robin. I am worried they're going to try and do more Batman stuff next season with Dick and Tim. Yeah, I kind of rolled my eyes on that, because I was like, well, isn't Bruce back? Why isn't what? Why are you training a Robin, Dick? What? Who said you could do that? Maybe he won't be Robin. I don't know, because can someone who's not Batman choose to make someone a Robin? How does that work? Right? I don't even think Bruce met Tim. So I don't know. Maybe they'll do that off screen, perhaps. I'm fine with Tim going there, because I mean, they built him up and he's fun. He's not annoying. I just don't want it to suck up a lot of air, and hopefully it won't. But you know, they love their love their default Batman stuff. But maybe if they don't go to Gotham next season, they can't do that. Also, you know, just to talk briefly, because I ain't even gonna go deep with Bruce. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad Batman's back in Gotham. I thought it was very lackluster that he came at the very end. I hope that they leave him alone. That's all I can say, because at this point, yeah, I just hope they leave him alone. Just leave him alone. I didn't mind this guy playing Batman. I loved him in Game of Thrones, so I don't mind him playing an older Batman. I think it's fine. That's not my issue. I don't think he's a miscast Batman. I think he's fine. I think the material they gave him was crap, and so it just didn't work, you know, and maybe they, you know, they'll leave it alone. Icky is saying Titans don't need a new Robin. They really don't. Titans need to be Titans for a bit. And Dick was already Robin, and we haven't gotten to see him as Nightwing as Titans, right? We got to see Nightwing in Gotham. We didn't get to see Nightwing as a Titans yet full time, and hopefully we get that. But overall, guys, didn't hate it. Kind of liked it, the season finale. I like that a lot of stuff was wrapped up. We got hints for new stuff, but hopefully it's very Titans focused. And we're getting a season 4. And that is also something to be happy about, because I'm happy that we are getting a season 4. Andreas, thanks for joining, Andreas. Andreas says Superboy was angry on episode 12, but cool in episode 13. Exactly. But I think that's the duality that they're trying to do with him, right? That he has this back and forth torn side. And maybe I did hear through the grapevine, that at some point they might want Lex Luthor as a villain. So that'll play into Connor. But can we have a Titans thing before we have Lex Luthor? Right? I mean, why not? Can we get Titans before we get Lex Luthor? I wouldn't mind it because at least we get something other than Gotham. But can we get that first, y'all? I'd appreciate it. You know, if anything else, right? But yeah, y'all, if you haven't already, please give a like to the video. Slash that like button. It's always appreciated. And also, if you haven't already, please do subscribe because I love talking stories and things like that. I also want to let you all know that if you are on Twitch, I am on there now because I also like playing video games, and I will be playing genre video games of horror and supernatural, fantasy, and comic book ones because this new Suicide Squad came out or is coming out and things like that. So you want to follow me on Twitch and do some gameplay with me a few hours out of the week and things, please do that. And, show some super chat love if you haven't already, or if you want to, but no pressure. It's always appreciated. But yeah, y'all, we made it. We did it. We made it through Titans. And, Red Eye saying, looking forward to you playing Gotham Knights, right? I'm excited. I won't be playing as Barbara. Don't worry. But I might be playing as Nightwing. And yeah, thank you all for joining me. It's always a pleasure. And Bannon has been asking about the Chucky stream. I am doing the Chucky stream. I'm probably going to do episodes 1 through 3 coming up this week. So look out for that. I do want to do a stream I actually meant to start it this week, but I kind of got behind because I had to go to some screenings for Dune and some other stuff. Check out my written review of Dune. Coming up, y'all, I do want to have a spoiler discussion of Dune coming up soon, and also Candyman. So look out for that. And if you have any suggestions, go to the community page where I asked, if you have any suggestions for other TV shows that you want me to look at, please let me know. I may do a little live stream talk about the whole situation of Batwoman, not the show necessarily. I know that's Red Eye's deal because he does watch his channel. He does some great recaps and things. I do want to kind of talk about the behind the scenes stuff in regards to safety and everything and Batwoman and everything. So I may do that soon. So check that out. But maybe if y'all want that, let me know. Because I like talking about the history of things and the happenings and stuff like that of what makes these shows and movies we watch. But also, if you're going to be around, y'all, I'm doing the American Horror Story season finale of season 10. So check out for that as well. So much stuff going on. Twitch as well. Go follow me on Twitch. The link is actually in the banner of my YouTube channel if you want to go follow over there. But please do so. Actually, I'll give you all the my Twitch thing. Let me do that. I got to get used to doing that, y'all. So please do follow me. I don't have any followers yet because I just started this yesterday. So I just opened it yesterday. So please follow me over there as I start streaming over there and stuff. So I'll send that in the chat as well. But okay, y'all, thank you so much. Stay safe out there and have a great rest of your week. And read some Titans comic books and tell the writers what you want because they need to do more of the source material. Until then, talk to you later.